Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition, and for tonight headlines we have the meeting between the member of government and the remote populations in the Tajura region. For the international scene, Muhammadu Buhari and Atiku Abubakar call for calm after elections postponement. Welcome to our newsroom. After the Dugum localities visit Friday, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohamed Mahamoud, his colleagues, delegate for decentralization, Mr. Hamadu Mohamed Aramis, and the local authorities, namely the prefect, Mr. Abdul Malik Mohamed Benoita, the president of the regions, Umar Hussein, as well as the executive and officials of the two ministries, traveled to the remote localities of the region in the days of Saturday and Sunday. UNICEF representative Janabu Maonde, who also chairs the local groups of education partner, joined the towers in very remote locations on the 8th and at the foot of Musa Ali Mount, natural borders between our country and its immediate neighbor, Ethiopia and Eritrea. In Margoita, then Madgul and Otoy Munkur, where the delegations were able to see the first-hand the harshest living condition of local populations in a hostile environment where basic infrastructure is severely lacking. The opportunity for the two ministers and the seniors of UN officials to speak with the notable, the chief and the local communities to inquire about their grievance and their most urgent difficulties. For his part, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohamed Mahamoud, has indicated that these rural school projects are part of the Universal Schooling or School for All program and will bring schools closer to children who will be able to enjoy all the facilities to offer them the means to studies and develop fully in the natural environment. He urged community leaders and traditional chiefs to take possession of this infrastructure and ensure their optimal management in order to best meet the expectations of local population. Yesterday, Saturday, February 16th, the association is Tai Chi Kwan in close collaboration with the management of CDC Al-Hiba has organized a closing ceremony in the presence of the Hassan Mohamed Kamil, Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, surrounded by his close associate, the Deputy Mayors of the city, Mr. Utban Ahmed Mohamed, the Deputy Directors of Kuled Stadium, the Neighborhood Chief, the Elder, and the parents of students this day. So the participations, the presentations of certificate and award for young practitioners who received 1 year training. The goal is to popularize this new discipline in Djibouti. The Tai Chi Kwan, which is a global energetic gymnastic consisting of performing a set of continuous and circular movement performed slowly and precisely in a pre-established order. Also, in the news of the countries and in the topics of the professional trainings of the media, the associations of the Union for Francophone Press of Djibouti proceeded this morning to the launching of sessions of 2 weeks at the Institute of Diplomatic Studies for the benefit of the young journalists. This training session provided by Mr. Jean-Michel Odino, Director of a newspaper and teacher at the university and at the journalism schools of West. For 2 weeks, young journalists will become familiar with the fundamentals of journalism, characteristic informations and gathering and processing, the fundamental of writing, also professional ethics sources and the right of the press, among others. The member of parliaments from the Ali Sabih region are conducting the proximity discussions with the local resident almost a year after their elections of the representative of the regions of Ali Sabih to the national hemicycle. They elected Asa Jog, Roda Ahmed Ali, Aisha Qayad Ali, Abdul Sikiye Diriye, and Elmi Mahabe Waisa. With the president of the regional council, Mr. Omar Ahmed Waisa, began yesterday morning the first test of the tower with the inhabitants of the rural towns of Gubetu, a journey of encounter that will lead them in front of the populations of all the villages and the chief towns of the region. In February 2018, the candidates of RPP had started their electoral battle, which had opened the door of the National Assembly to the villages of Gubeto. They carry out the same courses of candidates yesterday, this time as a parliamentarian, to make a collection of grievances to their interlocutors. It should be noted that the member of parliament always accompany government missions on towers in the region. Later, the parliamentarian of the region, together with the president of the regional council, went to the locality of Holhol. The atmospheres of the warm welcome reserved for regional deputies had a taste for the electoral flavor. In every locality, visit peoples of all ages combined welcomed them. Soon after their arrival, they engaged in fruitful discussions with them. The distinguished visitors explained to the wise women and young villagers their commitment to the member of government to facilitate their everyday life. The village of Darfur under the Tajura rings made Ring Road benefit on Friday, February 15th from a distribution of food through an initiative of the Member of Parliament, Ms. Fatuma Daoud Humed, for the benefit of 300 vulnerable families. This distribution is concerned 200 tons of food products such as rice, oil, flour, sugar, are part of the effort of the public authorities to improve the living conditions of the population. On this occasion, the elders of Darfur localities welcome the support which will strengthen the actions taken in the different areas of the countries to support the vulnerable population. The distribution ceremony was attended by the first deputy prefect of the regions of the Tajura region, Mr. Habib Jilani, and a representative of the regional council, Mr. Mohamed Hagayo. The recipients of this food aid welcomed this assistance and thanked the Member of Parliament, Fatuma, for this charitable act. In its perpetual quest to promote the fulfillment and the well-being of the children under its care, the international organization SOS Children's Villages Djibouti, organized under the directions of the painter Mr. Rifqi Abdul Qadir Bamakrama, a plastic arts workshop intended to about 60 children aged from 5 to 12 years old. Note that this workshop was sponsored by the National Printing Area Press and the Al Gamil Group. Mr. Rifqi Bamakrama was accompanied for this 3 days workshop by the artist Isdaq Gafane. The purpose of these actions was to share and learn about art, stimulating creativity, and the children who benefit from this workshop produced different fresh papers and canvas using the various techniques acquired. SOS Children Village Djibouti intend to multiply and perpetuate these kinds of actions and takes advantage of the presence of Mr. Rifqi Bamakrama to launch an appeal to all Djiboutian artists to make their contribution to the building. The Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, flew early this morning from the to Mariama in the Arta district. In this trip, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim was accompanied by Tahir Ali Mohammed, the Chief of the Defense Staff. This visit by the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces was intended to attend an artillery regiment firing exercise on range number 10. This range is specially dedicated to firing heavy equipment such as armor and battery part of the artillery regiment. In fact, following the incorporation of a new recruit and once their basic military training was completed, the artillery regiment carried out the specific trainings of these young soldiers in shooting techniques specific to the artillery. Thus, after months spent on theory, it was essential to put into practices the achievement. It is in this context that these soldiers, supervised by their instructor, maneuvered for 3 days in these sectors for firing sessions. On the descent of the helicopter, the General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim was welcomed by Colonel Mohammed Hersi, Chief of the Artillery Regiment. Then General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim reviewed the picket lines of new recruits with their instructor, followed by the delegation. Then the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces were briefed by Colonel Mohammed Hersi on the subject of destroying an enemy who had infiltrated the west sides of the area and the tolling means engaged during the time of the exercise, namely 2 battery consisting of BM-21 battery, known as ground-to-ground missiles, and a D-13 of Hauser's battery. General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim spent a lot of time on the orientations and corrections material used in the shoot, which are of particular importance. CMGA was able to appreciate the explanations given by the 2 instructors on these orientation materials, which are used primarily to assess the distance of the enemy and then correct and adjust the shoot in cases of bad targeting at the end of the presentation. And after CMGA was immersed in this scenario, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim kicked off the exercise immediately. The firing office gave specific instructions to the 2 battery leaders to start firing and separate targets. Thus, the young soldier demonstrate their knowledge and acquired through this exercise. The women entrepreneurship is now experiencing a whole new development. For more detail, listen to this report.
The garage Sigma Autotech is located about 10 minutes from downtown. It opened its doors in July 2018. The garage offers several services such as diagnostics, programming, and car repairs, including electromechanics, air conditioning, and car keys reproduction. It makes high-quality sales on all models of cars. We met the owner of this garage, mother of 2 children, Fathia Hussein Aden. This is a professional activity which is also a passion for the young women. The opening of this modern garage is the result of 4 years of hard work. It is thanks to the President of the Republic and Defense that have been allocated to this project. It was set up thanks to the Almighty, first of all, and my patience, as well as the support for the Republic, the First Lady, and the government, she said. It's a result of her participation in the International Fair of Djibouti, where her garage gained visibility in 2017. She never had premises back then, but thanks to the promotion she got from the fair, the opening of her garage came true. Without further ado, we will proceed, she said, with the repair work on the car. At first, diagnosis of the car with the advanced scanning device, the Maxidas diagnostic system. This device can detect the defects of the car, but also the transmission of data, reading and cleaning of diagnostic codes, activation of components, coding of immobilizer keys, and etc. Indeed, Mrs. Fathia Hussein Aden made her debut when she restored a car with her husband. I'm passionate about this kind of work. We only progress in life by practicing what we love. This car with blue paint has been down for almost a year and a half, and nobody has been able to fix it. It was together with my husband that we managed to repair the car that made us gain more credibility. So we repaired this car in 2014, which took us 4 years of planning and hard work to open a garage. Thanks to the Almighty, our hard work has been fruitful. As you can see today, I am in my long-awaited garage. The shortage of modern car repairs in our society and the proliferation of automobiles are for us a major source of inspiration. That's why we opted to launch a modern garage that employs young Djiboutians without getting help from international experts. Sigma Autotech is now an important economic reference in the field of mechanics. It is a garage that is equipped with ultra-modern equipment, including the force machine for the reproduction of car keys. All these materials you see are the ones we use to repair cars. These all are the latest technologies in the global market. We have appliances for all kinds of cars and a machine for the reproduction of car keys. Once programmed, the plate of a car key must be cut to fit the lock and starter for the customer's vehicle. Fathia is indeed the first woman to run a garage in Djibouti. Her garage repairs modern cars, and now she wants to expand her business, train more young people, and encourage more women to follow her example. This is what she said. A word to Djiboutian women. Although in our country today, the entrepreneurial spirit is implanted, and the female participation plays an important role in the creation of jobs, I would like to advise the rest of women not to be embarrassed and to highlight your production regardless of its size. You must therefore present whatever your activity is. It will also and surely participate in the economic development of the country. Fathia had to overcome several obstacles to realize her dream, but today her business is growing successively. She would like to support through her garage the inclusion and empowerment of women in the area of entrepreneurship, innovation, and technology.
The regional councils of Ali Sabi, in partnership with the State Secretariat for Youth and Sport and the federations of Djibouti Pétanque and the prefectures of the region, launched Friday the second editions of the Pétanque tournament. The tournament of the pétanque in honor of this plant, very popular for its taste, tea, mint, and its therapeutic contribution to the level of kidneys, well known especially in the regions of Ali Sabia. The kickoff of this tournament pétanque was given by the prefect of the region, Mohamed Babir Assoui, in the presence of the president of the regional council, Omar Ahmed Waïd, the parliamentarian of the regions, and the president of the pétanque federations of Djibouti. A total of 32 teams registered in this tournament in triplet came from Djibouti city, including 5 teams from the FFTG club and 10 from the Ali Sabia city and the city of Unity. 10 other teams. In the morning of Friday, each team made his first match. The pétanque tournament trophy was held at the regional council's headquarters. Yesterday afternoon, the award ceremony is held in the presence of the president of the regional council of Ali Sabia, Mr. Omar Ahmed Waïd, the president of the pétanque federation's representative of the state secretariat for youth and sports. Like other regions of the countries, the Djiboutian Football Federation conducted last Friday in Dikhil a distribution of equipment to the 12 teams involved in the regional championship and computer equipment for the administrative office of the Football League of the region. The ceremony was sponsored by the Dikhil Deputy Prefect Fuad Abubakar and the Vice President of the Djiboutian Football Federation and chairman of the league committee, Mr. Mohamed Rufa Mohamed. Equipment consisting of jerseys, chin guard, and stakes were offered to the players of the 12 teams. The shoes will be distributed later once the sizes of the players are raised. The Egyptian Federation of Football also handed over computer tools to the president of the league, Mr. Mohammed Ibrahim. These tools consist of computer and scanner and printer. This computer equipment will serve as working support to the administrative office of the league. During this afternoon, the championship draw was also held. On Saturday morning, the former Oka City football field hosted the launching of ceremony of the Dakhel Regions Football Championship. The team entered in the championship made a parade with the placard bearing their names. The opening match of the championship was launched by the Deputy Prefect, Mr. Fuad Obakar, and the Vice President of the Federations of Football and President of League Commission, Mr. Muhammad Rufa Muhammad. This friendly football match marking the opening of the Dakhel season spited the Harrow team against the FCTP Public Works Football Club. At the end of the match, it was made a press point of several personalities expressed themselves. As part of the fight against itinerant delinquency, on February 16, 2019, investigators of the Sheikh Musa Brigade and those of the Pika 12 North Brigade have arrested unknown chronic offenders in the file of counterfeit of bank. Indeed, the banknote, it is the culmination of a long-term survey that began in early January 2019. To do this, the investigators of the Sheikh Musa Brigade carried out an operation is called in jargons transactions monitored. During these ones, the gendarmes first scented rooms at Pika 12 and to avoid any suspicions on the part of the forger. Then they pretended to be traders wishing to buy 300,000 Djibouti franc in counterfeit banknotes. The counterfeit having beaten the book began to produce the counterfeit notes in exchanges for a sum of 115,000 Djibouti francs in real tickets that the gendarmes provided him. At the end of the production of a sum of 200,000 in the counterfeit note of 10,000 and 2,000, he was arrested by the investigators in hiding in front of the rented room. During this hearing, the criminal stated that he has been engaged in this illegal trade since 2013 and that he has already been arrested for the same acts. According to him, he has sold an estimated sums of 1 billion of our franc on the local market. The person arrested will be brought to court for forgery of legal banknotes in the Republic of Djibouti. For the international scene, a few hours after the postponement of presidential and legislative elections, Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari and the leading opposition candidates Atiku Abubakar on Saturday called on Nigerians to avoid any spillover anger and disappointment. This awakening was difficult for the Nigerian who discovered on waking Saturday's February 16th, the postponement of the presidential elections barely a few hours before the openings of the polls. The presidential and legislative elections are scheduled to be held next Saturday's February 13th, according to the National Electoral Commission, which reported logistic problems after an emergency meeting in the middle of the night in Port Harcourt in the southeast of the country. Some electors who were not aware of this situation came to the polls, which should have opened at 8 a.m. local times. The disappointment is such that some had made the trip to return to their homes regions to vote. Muhammadu Buhari said he was deeply disappointed that the Independent National Electoral Commission is postponed the presidential and legislative elections when it had been assured that it was totally ready. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.